Testing, testing, one, two, three, testing. Can someone that's watching give me a mic check? Anybody? Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Probably gonna have to move this. Thank you, Justin, for responding back to me. Um, Everyone that's on right now, just want to give everyone a little bit more time to hop on. Um, as of this very second, the radar isn't really showing a whole lot to be worried about. Like I said, as of this very moment. So I hope y'all are in for a pretty long live video as these storms develop and they move through the area. Um, and like I mentioned, that tornado watch is in effect until 11 p.m. tonight. So we've got some hours. Um, but I'm gonna mute myself again, kind of get my setup back together, and I'll get back to y'all here in a little bit. All right, now that we've been live for a little bit of time, I know there's some people probably still stuck at work and should be getting off shortly, but just kind of wanted to get this thing rolling. Don't want to waste anybody's time. Um, but as I mentioned, there is a tornado watch covering a large majority of Oklahoma. I'll actually show y'all that. Sorry for the screenception. This is my first time doing the stream like this, so I'll get it under control. And I know I'm watching myself on another device, and there's about a 10 to 15 second delay, I'd say. So just want to make sure that the window looks pretty good when I open it. Might have to blow it up a little bit for y'all to see. Oh. All right, so first I kind of just wanted to take a look at what the Storm Prediction Center was forecasting today. So if you've been following my page, pretty much every day since Saturday has included some sort of risk area for Oklahoma. Now, a majority of those days, we didn't really see a whole lot, and I'll actually go into why that is here in a little bit. But the Storm Prediction Center for today, which was the day that I really had my eyes on, it intrigued me the most ever since late last week, early weekend. Today, they've got a huge part of not only the Southern Plains but the Midwest in this level 2 slight risk that's under the yellow. But then today, this morning, they added in the level 3 enhanced risk for the area, um, the area between southwestern Oklahoma, kind of right along the Red River, up along I-44, up into the north central part of Oklahoma, and that enhanced risk. Does indicate that chances are a little more favorable than previously forecasted based on the data that they collected from this morning's soundings. So if you kind of go down here and take a look at, let's see, and give me the possibility. So they just released an update, 20Z. So that was at 3 o'clock. So about an hour ago. And the one bullet right here says 30% wind probabilities were expanded southwestern into southwest and central Oklahoma to account for the possibility of more rapid upscale growth into one or more wind producing MCSs or linear segments. So this could potentially be one of those kind of squall line setups. And if you do take a look at the radar, you can kind of see that starting to come together. But we'll actually take a look. So the tornado risk, kind of right in line with that level 3 enhanced risk, is a 5% brown area. Like I said, kind of pretty much right on track with where they included that level 3 enhanced risk. And I also wanted to point out that they included those dash lines. Now, if you were a part of my last live video, was it last week? I can't keep up now. There's been so many severe weather days. My last video, those dash lines indicate the intensity. So you have significance number 1, you have significance number 2, and you have significance number 3. Significant number 1 indicates that there could potentially be a strong EF2 plus rated tornado. When you get into the 2 and the 3 category, when they join these dashes together and then when they crosshatch them, that's when you're looking at more of an outbreak situation where multiple tornadoes have the possibility of forming, and they could do some serious damage. So 5% and significant level 1, how they want to define it. As saw that bullet point, they said they did include or they extended that red area that's over Oklahoma. Oh, sorry, that red area that's over Oklahoma, a little more southwest, kind of down. It looks like it's kind of right along that I-44 corridor, into Lawton, Duncan, places in between, and on and up to the northeast. So this is the wind probability, and kind of the similar story to the tornado probability, where you see that dash line does indicate that there could be some destructive winds within any of these supercells. And a very similar story with the hail, except they have hatched an significance level 2 area, kind of right in line with that red area right there. So this means that there is the potential for not only destructive hail, but a good bit of it. So if you do have garages, if you do have some sort of shelter for your vehicle, you might want to go ahead and take those precautions now and cover them up before it's too late and you're scrambling. I wouldn't recommend, hogging up all the car wash slots. Don't, don't park under any overpasses, stuff like that, because if there does happen to be anything tornadic, then the wind profiles under those areas can be just as significant as the rest of the tornado. So just kind of take that into consideration. I know a lot of people, they'll go to the car wash, they'll park under the bank drive-through, but that might not always be the good idea. Yes, it might protect you from the hail, but if things go sideways, it might have a worse outcome than you filing an insurance claim for hail damage. Just kind of chiming in to see if there's been any comments or anything. I know I'm posting this directly to Ledbetter's page, my new roofing company, which, by the way, I totally forgot. I've got a little ticker. Oh, sorry for the screenception again. Okay, now we're going to go back. All right, so you'll see that ticker slowly pop up at the bottom of your screen. So this edition of What's the Forecast has been brought to you by Ledbetter Roofing, my newest exclusive roofing sponsor. Excuse me, I need to go grab my water. All right, and you can't see the ticker because I'm not in full screen, but now you should. So, like I mentioned, Ledbetter, thank you guys for coming along and trusting the process and believing in me, and I look forward to the partnership that we're going to have over the next couple of months, especially with severe weather season in full force, as we've seen over the past few weeks. It's always a good time to get your roof looked at. As I mentioned in my post when I welcomed them, when's the last time you asked your roof, "Are you okay?" Okay, crickets. I thought so. if you sustain any damage, or you suspect that you might have a leak, or you just want to, get it checked out. Maybe it's been up there for a couple of years, and you're not real sure, because how often do we get on our roofs? Maybe twice a year to put up Christmas lights and take them down. But yeah, they will come inspect it for a free quote. Give them a call at 580-530-2467. All right. So as I mentioned, the radar isn't really too active at this time. Let me pull it up for you, and I'll make this full screen, and then let me make sure it looks good. All right, so I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see just how broad of an area that this tornado watch covers. So the area, the polygon highlighted in yellow, I'd say this more true yellow color, because I know severe thunderstorm polygons kind of have a similar yellow color, but it's a different shade. So just to kind of clear up any discrepancies that y'all might have, this yellow area, including parts of North Texas, so that includes Vernon, down to Kroll. Quanah is included in that as well. Wichita Falls, over east into Wichita Falls. And then as we creep over across the Red River, pretty much all of southwest Oklahoma, I'd say, except Ardmore. So, just because y'all aren't in the watch area doesn't mean that you need to go crazy and act freely. Still need to stay weather aware as these storms develop and move through the area. This tornado watch continues on up to the northeast. So we're looking at Hobart and Cordell and Clinton, Weatherford, Chickasha, Pauls Valley, Norman, Oklahoma City, and then on further up. I'm not sure if I have too many viewers that are in that part of the state, but up towards Stillwater, going up I-35 into Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, and a good bit of counties up there. So like I said, this is a very broad area. And it does really look a whole lot like that enhanced risk area that they issued earlier this morning. So it's kind of right on track with what we've been thinking with the latest data that's come through over the past hours today. So kind of zoom on in. Let's put kind of a play on this so y'all can see. Maybe give it, let's give it a couple more frames. So play. All right, so this is a current look at the radar. You can see, and actually I'll zoom in a little more. I know it's kind of hard to see when you're I'm on a MacBook, but when you're on a phone or a tablet, the quality might not look as good. You might not be able to read the cities and towns as good. So zoom in a little bit for you guys. So we've got this pretty good looking storm crossing from Electra. I believe that's the highway between Vernon and Wichita Falls. Just crossed over there, probably gave them some heavy rainfall. There was some hail, definitely within that storm. Let's say up to golf ball size hail. 70-mile-per-hour wind gust, and they're tagging this as a considerable damage threat because, oh, sorry, because this storm is just, it's a behemoth. So as that one is crossing over into the Red River, it's going to be heading right up I-44. So between Wichita Falls and Lawton, if you are on I-44 right now, you want to keep your eyes peeled to the west. I'm not seeing anything that looks tornadic about this supercell, but it's definitely had a history of producing damage in the form of large hail and those 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So make sure to take every precaution, especially if you're traveling. It's getting closer and closer to rush hour, quitting time, everybody getting off of work. So take that into consideration if you are heading south, from Lawton to Wichita Falls, or if you're heading north from Wichita Falls to Lawton, as that storm comes over the area. Another polygon that I wanted to point out, and I've kind of been watching this area, just to our south. And when I say our south, I mean Altus, specifically Jackson County. I've been watching this area for more development, and we've seen some kind of spotty stuff pop up, and then it'll kind of go away. But it looks like further to our southwest is where my attention is going to be going. But we'll take a look at this blue polygon right here. As I mentioned, I probably don't have many viewers down here in this area. So these blue polygons are a special weather statement. So it's not necessarily a severe thunderstorm warning because it doesn't meet the requirements. So usually these statements will indicate hail less than 1 inch in diameter, and the wind gusts are reported less than 58 miles per hour. So not as destructive as a storm as the one that's coming over the Red River right now from Electra into parts of southern Comanche County pretty soon. But it's still got some shades of purple in it, which indicate that there is some hail within that storm. And as time moves forward and this storm continues to push off to the northeast, it looks like it's right on track between, I'd say, closer to Frederick, but right between Frederick and Altus. So if you're in Manitou, if you're in Tipton, over the next hour or so, you'll be wanting to watch for this storm as it matures and kind of see what it does as it comes closer to our neck of the woods. But yeah, other than that, nothing too alarming. I know and we can actually talk about that. So let me get over there. Let me put in full screen. Okay, let's see. So we'll actually take a look at what the HRRR thinks the radar looks like right now, which this was actually last hour's run. So we just step it 1 hour into the future. And let me make sure it looks good on y'all's side. I know the white background of the state and the outlines is kind of fuzzy, but you can see that they pretty much hit the nail on the head with this one storm. Maybe a little further west than what it actually is, but I will say this part right here is where the model is, I wouldn't say failing, but they're they're forecasting these storms to develop a little faster than what they actually are. So take a look back at the radar if I can find it. So that area, which is showing kind of between Hollis, Mangum, Hobart, Cordell up in that area. You can start to see a little bit of stuff developing, but not as massive of a line as what the model was projecting. So looking back at the model, I wanted to talk to y'all about um, why we didn't have severe weather yesterday on Monday, the day before on Sunday, and we didn't really have a whole lot on Saturday, other than I'd say Saturday evening, overnight into Sunday morning. It wasn't really severe, but we did get some rain. So you've heard me talk about the cap on the atmosphere, and just like it sounds, it's pretty much the ceiling. So the ceiling in the atmosphere won't allow for the rising air to go up any further. So it kind of just hits a wall, and then poof, whatever had developed just dwindles down into nothing at all. And a lot of people question, oh, well, how do you determine that? And to be honest with you, it's not something that we can just determine a day before, or even sometimes I'd say maybe 6 to 12 hours before, because it can change at any given moment. So one thing that we would look at um, is the CAPE values. So the CAPE values are convective available potential energy. The CAPE values pretty much tell us how much gas is in the atmosphere. If if the environment was perfectly capable of producing these storms, um, how much fuel is going to be inside of them to produce those damaging winds, to create that large hail, to potentially drop a tornado. So this this chart here at the bottom does show you those CAPE values. So these purple colors and the pink colors that you kind of see out here on the western side, that shows you relatively low CAPE. Then as you get into the blue area, you'll start to see a little bit more gas. I'd say, you're still you're not on empty, you're probably on a quarter of a tank, just to give y'all kind of an analogy. Green, you're getting closer to half a tank. Then once you get above like this 3,000 threshold, the yellows, the reds, that's really where you start to see there's a lot of fuel, there's a lot of fire that can be produced from these values. But the CAPE is not the only value you have to consider. You have to also take into consideration the opposite of CAPE, which is referred to as convective inhibition. Convective inhibition pretty much shows us the cap on the atmosphere. So you see parts of this area have have a line hatched across it. So that indicates that the cap is still in play. So if you see these areas up in yellow and the green, these do not these have broken the cap essentially. So let's say, for example, this red spot right here, um, which is Western Comanche County. Um, those values are showing CAPE at 4,100 joules per kilogram, but the SIN, the convective inhibition value, is 0. I will tell you that the closer that number is to 0 means that the cap has broken. Now, let's go over towards Altus, for example, in Jackson County. So not as much CAPE, 1550 joules per kilogram, and then your SIN value, the convective inhibition, is -12. So that is reflecting a weak cap, but it still hasn't punched through because we don't have enough CAPE to do so. We'll go even further down. Oh yeah, here we go. This is a good one right here. So that storm that the model was projecting, very low CAPE, 200 joules per kilogram, and the SIN is negative 269. So very little CAPE and a strong cap. So we'll kind of time this out a couple hours. And you can see that the cap kind of takes back over. Now, I will say that the models have not done a particularly good job of forecasting these storms over the past couple of days. So take this with a grain of salt. I'm just trying to get y'all to understand the science behind it and understand, that why this is so. It's so scientific. It can change within a matter's notice, and so like I said, at this very moment, the latest run of the HRRR is showing that the cap is going to stay intact, but we can take a look at earlier runs, let's say from this morning. So I'll look at the 12Z run. This is from 7 a.m. this morning. Let's see. So that's 3 o'clock. So 4 o'clock. So you can see not as much CAPE, but there aren't as many pockets of the cap. You kind of have this line that pretty much is pretty close to what the dry line is. That's kind of giving you that difference between the cap and no cap. And then as the hours went on, the cap kind of started to take over again. And I'm having a hard time keeping up with whether I need to say cap or CAPE, so I'm going to take a drink of water. Does anyone have any questions at this time? Or like I said, I need a drink of water if we want to take a little intermission break. I don't even know how long I've been on, probably 30 minutes. I know I like to talk, especially about the weather. But I got to figure out how to do this. Sorry, this is the wife's MacBook. Oh gosh, I didn't want to show that because that's a trippy screen. So I haven't really gotten the hang of how to use it. So taking another live look at the radar in the area. All right, so I will point out that they have upgraded this storm that originally had a special weather statement to an actual severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like it just meets the requirements. So as I mentioned, a severe thunderstorm warning is issued when hail is estimated at an inch or higher and wind speeds are greater than 58 miles per hour. So this severe thunderstorm warning says 1-inch hail, which is quarter size, and winds 60 miles per hour. So right now that storm is just to the south of Crowell, Texas. So as I mentioned, still a long ways away. This storm is moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. So if I were to, let's see if I can get this to work. select starting point. Let's say right here. Oh, go away. Oh no. I'm used to doing this on my phone. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Is it this one? Okay. Oh, nope, that's not it. Well, bear with me while I relearn how to work this thing. Maybe do I have to pause it? Uh, hmm. Technical difficulties. Happens to the best of us. Well, I can do it on my phone's radar. All right, so let's say the northeastern half of that storm is about it's right around 50 miles away from Frederick. If it does in fact move northeast at 25 miles per hour, so that still gives you 2 hours. It's 5 o'clock, not even 5 o'clock yet. 7 minutes till. So right around sunset. When we could be looking at at this storm passing across the Red River into Tillman County. So people in Frederick, people in Tipton, Manitou, and then as it continues to move to the northeast into the western part of Comanche County. So if there's anyone traveling along Highway 62 from Lawton to Cache, or from Snyder to Indiahoma, or vice versa, you could potentially be looking at these storms within the next 2 hours, right around 7 o'clock. Um, and I'll actually, let's kind of, oh, now I figure, I'm shaking my head. Hold on, I'll show y'all what I just figured out. Okay, and we'll go here, and then we'll say, wee, right up to here. Ta-da, 55 miles. And that's showing that at 48 degrees, which is pretty close to a northeast movement. So now that I know how to do that, um, let's kind of head up north and look at these storms. The radar, as you get further and further away, kind of gets really pixelated. So let me see. What if I go up here? Yeah, I will say that Beckham County is a horrible spot between radars. Um, you can't, the one in Frederick is a little too far. The one or the one outside of Norman is a little too far. The one in Amarillo is a little too far. So it's like the Bermuda Triangle when it comes to these radars. But I think the clearest picture comes from the um, hold on, let me look at something real quick. Um, the clearest picture does come from Fredericks. So we'll swing this one into motion. All right, so this storm just passed through Sayre. So my in-laws up there probably got a little bit of rain, probably some gusty winds, not severe level winds, maybe like 30, 40 miles per hour. And it looked like there might have been a little bit of hail within that storm. And as this storm continues to push off to the northeast, it looks like it's traveling right along I-40 up towards Elk City. So anyone in the Elk City area, I know I do have one of my biggest followers. We've been messaging back and forth a lot over the past couple of days. He lives just to the north of Elk City, and so you do got some rain on your way, buddy. Nothing, severe at this moment. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they put out a special weather statement or, a lower end severe thunderstorm warning. But like I mentioned, Elk City, within the next 15, 20 minutes, you're going to be seeing some heavy rain, some winds, 30, 40 miles per hour, and maybe a little bit of hail. But nothing too severe at this time. And just to the southwest of it, there's there it looks to be like there's a line building up. So those people that are traveling in Beckham County along Interstate 40, over the next 30 minutes to an hour, you might have some slowdowns. You might have some moments where you're at a crawl, but that's perfectly fine. Some rain in the area is just what the doctor ordered, the drought doctor ordered. All right, and another one that I've got my eye on. So it'll slowly start to creep across the western border, the western border of Oklahoma, between the Texas Panhandle and Harmon County. So Hollis, Gould included in that. You can see that supercell right there, right over Childress. Um, it's got some purple color in it, so it more than likely does have a little bit of hail. Nothing at this time to be warned about. So penny-sized hail, um, something that small, pea-sized hail, stuff like that. But nothing to warrant a warning at this time. Um, and the storm just to the south of it. Give me just one moment. I just downloaded this app but I don't like the way the radar looks. Let me see if I can. Okay. And I don't know if it's because of. I do have a subscription. What? Okay. Um. So there we go. Now there's not as much. Well, I wouldn't say there's still just as much fuzziness. But uh, the kind of lighter greens that really don't indicate a whole lot of anything, aren't on the map. So yeah, this is what we're working with at this very second. I don't know if y'all can hear my dogs barking, trying to give them a little more outside time before they're hunkered down. Our biggest dog, Bolt, he's a healer of some sort. Um, but he is terrified of loud noises, thunder, lightning, fireworks, you name it. He's he barks very loud and very aggressively, but he's a big old teddy bear, especially when it comes to storms. Um, I'm sure there's a lot of people with animals that are like that, especially in Oklahoma. Well, guys, y'all are being very quiet um, in the chat. I'd love to have some comments. That way, not just rambling and scrambling and going on. If there's anyone that, had anything planned this evening, they want to know kind of what that's going to look like, or um, I'm used to the, hey, I live here. When is it going to hit my house? And I haven't gotten any of that. So if y'all want to chime in and let me know where y'all are from, uh, anything like that. I don't mind. Anyone? Bueller? Well, I will also point out that um, up until this morning, um, today looked like it was going to be kind of a one-off thing. We would get these thunderstorms, and as they pushed off to the north and east, that would be it. But the models have actually hinted at multiple rounds. So even when a majority of this has kind of, I wouldn't say has left the area, but once it's kind of moved on, there is potential for for more development later this evening as the low level jet increases along the dry line. So you know, like I mentioned, this tornado watch is in effect until 11 p.m. So it's going to be a long night. Um, I'll actually give y'all an idea of what that might look like. Let me find my, there it is, and then we'll put it in full screen. Let's see. I guess I can. Let's see. Is that going to show it? Oh, this is from earlier. Let me do the updated run of it. Oh, all right. So 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9. So this kind of gives you an idea of um, where that low level jet could be. So normally when I'm talking about the jet stream, I'm talking about the jet stream way up in the atmosphere. Normally 20,000 feet, give or take. Uh, but especially when you have these disturbances come in, there will actually be kind of an enhanced area of lower level winds, and so that's why we refer to it as the low level jet. So usually that kind of takes off, um, kind of in what's referred to as a golden hour. That's kind of that, hey, the sun's about to go down, and shortly after. So if you ever hear anyone talking about, the golden hour or the low level jet, just know that kind of right around sunset, is normally when that takes off. So because you start to lose all that heating that came in the previous hours. Um, and normally if you get the clouds kind of rolling around, it'll really start to spin up those winds, and increase them as you head into the evening hours and the darker hours of the day. So kind of timing this out, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can start to see a little bit of movement, kind of right along the southern half of Interstate 44, by 8 o'clock, and then continues on up into the Oklahoma City area and on further to the east. This really wasn't what I was looking for as far as that goes, but I guess okay, maybe this will be kind of a better idea for you. Oh, so that's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10. Okay, so kind of right in here is where that area starts to kind of pick up the pace, and then also over here. So there's kind of two areas that we'll have to watch out for over the coming hours, and that's pretty much kind of the span of what they've characterized the tornado warning, or the tornado, sorry, excuse me, tornado watch as. So as I mentioned, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, 5 o'clock in Oklahoma right now. But this will be continuing on for several hours into the evening, and right around midnight. So buckle up. Hopefully we will get some much needed rain out of this. I haven't shown it in a while. Y'all have probably seen it. Oh, there it is. So this is a look at last week's drought in Oklahoma. If I can get it to zoom in. So a huge chunk of southwestern Oklahoma, parts of Harmon County, all of Jackson County, a good majority of Tillman, pretty much the western half of Comanche, Kiowa, Greer, Beckham, Caddo, really testing my intelligence of all these square and rectangle counties right now. But you can see that red area, classified by extreme drought, has absorbed a majority of this area, and it's been like that for quite some time. We had take you back to last year. We had the wettest April on record. Over 9 inches of rainfall fell in some areas, pretty much shattered the record. And we were drought free by June. The whole entire map was clear. And now looking back and thinking, oh wow, this never happens in Oklahoma. We should have known Mother Nature was going to was going to reverse it at some point. So we end up having, a very hot and dry rest of the summer, a relatively dry, based on averages, kind of fall, and then a definite warm and dry winter period. But so far, just in the month of April, and I'm not speaking for everyone, but we have gotten some decent rainfall totals, especially compared to the last 6 months. that we've had. So, there's always a silver lining, and I'm hoping that this active pattern that we're currently in, even though some days it may not do too much for us, it will eventually kind of turn the corner for our drought conditions. But it's going to take a lot. So the whole entire state of Oklahoma has some sort of drought. But those areas in the red experiencing that extreme drought, it's going to take some time. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be from one event from a couple days in a row. It's gonna take a couple of months. So hopefully that super El Nino, which I don't even know why I said super, because it's a buzzword. They'll throw that in there, to try and get more likes and get more clicks and get more people to engage. It's We haven't had a super El Nino in 10 years, and they usually cycle every 10 to 15 years. So we're kind of due for one. But that could potentially mean some wetter conditions across Oklahoma. But it looks like we won't really see a huge chunk of that until the late summer months, July, August, September, and onward. So we've still got a couple of months before we get into that El Nino period. But so far it looks like our chances are steadily going up as we head further and further into this year. Um, so uh, I really need to figure out how to work this thing. By next time, guys, work in progress, I promise. Oh, and as I mentioned earlier, it looks like they did put a severe thunderstorm warning out for Beckham County, including Sayre and Elk City. Let's see. Yep, 1 inch hail, quarter size, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So as I mentioned, Beckham County, anyone traveling along I-40 between Elk City and Sayre, you could be experiencing up to quarter size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So make sure to please be careful if you are on the roads. There's also some pretty good rainfall with these sails. So it doesn't take much standing water to start drifting your car away. So I know that area is going to be pretty tight probably over the next hour or so as this storm comes through the area. All right. Well, let's see if I can go 2 for 2. Um, Actually, if you want to be technical, 3 for 3, because I was looking at that special weather statement down near Kroll, and was thinking, that maybe needs to be a severe thunderstorm warning. Then I hopped up north to Beckham County for that one, and let's go for a three-peat. Harmon County into Greer County. So anyone in Mangum, Granite, maybe the far western part of Jackson County, including Duke. So anyone traveling between here and there, I know there's a lot of people that work in Altus, but they work in Duke at the plant. So if you are traveling, um, get home safely. But I think, if they were to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm, it would be just like the others, 1 inch size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. So nothing too alarming at this moment. Um, and I will kind of zoom in on this one now that it's pretty much finally passed over the Red River into hold that thought and I'll figure out. I've got a county map. I'm grabbing my county map. Are they outside? Them? Oh, both of their rooms? Oh, all right. I'm back. And let me, I don't have a free magnet. I'm going to take this one down. Hey, there we go. Okay. I will tell you, when I worked at KSWO, which has been 10 whole years, um, the counties were not my strong suit. I'll tell you a funny story, um, because KSWO covers part of southwestern Oklahoma and then also part of North Texas. So one of the counties, which I'll actually show you, this one right here, Montague County. Montague. 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 Now, if y'all are like me and thought it was Montague, well, then you would be corrected by one of the viewers. She, and I really hope she's not watching, or I'm going to feel really embarrassed. But she called in uh, after one of my newscasts and kept saying it over and over again to me. Um, so if you're ever down in that area, Nocona, Montague, or Bowie, just make sure you say it Montague. All right, but sorry, I got sidetracked there for a second. All right, so we are currently looking at Cotton County. So just to the west of Cotton County is the radar site in Frederick. So Tillman County to the west, you have Comanche County to the north, and then over to the east, you've got both Stevens and Jefferson County. So like I mentioned, this has just passed over into the Red River. This severe thunderstorm warning I wouldn't necessarily say has downgraded, but it looks like the storm is kind of in a cycling phase, if you would say. 1 inch quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and they haven't flagged it as a considerable damage threat anymore. Now you are starting to see some of those purples come back into the picture. So that doesn't necessarily mean that, as this storm continues to push off to the northeast into Stevens County towards Duncan. So anybody that I have on here in Duncan, um, you could be looking at, large hail, damaging winds from this supercell here within the next hour. Let's see how fast it's moving. Northeast at 30. So let me use my fun little tool now that I know how to work it. And so yeah, it's about 25 miles away from Duncan, Stevens County. So if there's anyone traveling between Lawton and Duncan, um, uh, you know, want to make sure you get home safely. You could have a severe thunderstorm in your vicinity within the next hour. I'd probably say closer to 30 to 45 minutes, just to be on the safe side. Hmm. Okay, so now, and I hope this works like I want it to, at least to where y'all can see it. Um, let's change it. Okay, maybe that one's a little bit better. Um, at this very moment, nothing alarming, nothing confirmed, nothing even to be warned about. I just, kind of looking at the radar. It started to look like there was a little hook by Sayre, but looking at the velocity scan, I'm not seeing any sort of rotation at this very second. And more than likely, the fact that it has a storm kind of behind it, kind of eating up some of its clean air. I don't think this will turn into be anything tornadic, but it just kind of caught my eye. That's it. Just looked kind of funny on the radar, and you can kind of I mean, it's not a hook by any means, but you can kind of start to see that shape that we normally look for in this storm, um, right outside of Crowell, Texas, headed up towards Vernon. But looking at the velocity scan, nothing nothing too alarming at this time. Let's take a look at. So they have upgraded this severe thunderstorm warning. So golf ball size hail, 70-mile-per-hour wind gust, and a damage threat considerable. So another one of these storms that has produced some damage in its path, and it looks like it'll continue to do so as it heads not only up to Vernon, maybe just to the east of Vernon, between Vernon and Electra. But eventually, as it passes the Red River into Tillman County, like I mentioned, that was probably 30, 45 minutes ago. But Frederick, you've still got some time before this storm comes into the area. Like I said, right around 7 o'clock, maybe 6:30 to 7. Um, so still got some time. Let's see. Right now, I kind of want to pause all this and let's go back here. Actually, let's see if there's been any updates. Um, um, no, I think that's It looks like, is that Arkansas? Or no, that I think that's way further up north. Oh yeah, that's like Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. Okay. All right. So um, now that we've got a new run of the model, let's take a look at what the reflectivity looks like what they think the radar is going to look like right now. Um, oh man, I can't. Oh, I needed full screen. There we go. Okay. All right. So this update was as of 4 o'clock. So we'll go one into the future. Um, not not terrible by any means. You know, pretty close. But not the most accurate, you know, looking from this to what's actually on radar right now. Um, what is that? So this is acting now as if um, these storms kind of having more of a line, um, even though they may be separated at parts. They still, you know, cover a vast majority of the air in our area. Um, but when you have more discrete cells that are isolated from each other, and they quickly move past, that gives the atmosphere some more time to kind of become more unstable. But as you get later and later, and you start to lose that daytime heating, that's when you know that I wouldn't say the risk gets erased, but it's just not as likely. So the fact that you know these storms have a more kind of linear look to them than you know previously forecasted, um, is looking like we won't really see much of a second round per se. I mean, there might be some there might be some showers, maybe a storm or two, um, until you know potentially uh, tomorrow after sunset, or sorry, after sunrise, and that risk looks to be further to the east as the dry line pushes off to the east. So because well, I'll kind of I'll show y'all. Let's see. We'll go back, you know, just a couple of hours. So we'll go to the 18Z run, which is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So and I don't know if y'all noticed this, but we kind of had some. I wouldn't even really call them showers, but if you looked at the radar, there was some green areas on there. Um, but most of that precipitation probably evaporated but before it hit the ground, so it wasn't even really, you know, there was probably some drops. Um, but that could have, you know, played a part in, you know, why the storms are acting the way they are right now. Um, Essentially, if that shower had, you know, passed on through very quickly, allowed the sun to kind of rebake the ground and the moisture that we've received, make it more unstable. But I didn't really think it would be that much of a factor because not it really didn't do a whole lot. Um, so so here's kind of so that 1 o'clock update. This is at 6 p.m. So coming up within the next 30 minutes. And like I said, this run of the model is 6 hours, almost 6 hours prior to where we, or sorry, 5 hours to where we currently are now. But you can see those, very discrete sails kind of isolated from one another. And then as they pass, you start to see a little more activity kind of follow up behind it. And then once again, starting to see those showers, lingering showers, and maybe a storm or two as you head as you get up in the morning and head out and about. Um, oh, and then as I mentioned, this is tomorrow around 5 o'clock. Maybe a few sails in parts of our eastern counties of Southwest Oklahoma, but you can really see that line stretching across a majority of uh, of the highway between Oklahoma City and up into Tulsa, and as it continues to move further to the south and east. But the kind of changed course. So nothing wrong with that. Um, let's go back here. Yeah, now you can see really kind of got that line together, stretching just a little north of Interstate 40, around between Elk City and Clinton, all the way down to Childress. So a pretty good stretch of land in Oklahoma, and my hope, at least for our sake here in Jackson County, Altus, you'll start to see this move a little more east than northeast, so that maybe we can get some rain. Because right now, kind of like the what was that? Like I said, my days are all getting mixed up now since since we've had so much severe weather. That was okay, so that was Saturday. I drew a line pretty much kind of right in this similar area as to, hey, these places might not see as much rainfall as everyone else, and looking at the rainfall amounts, I got .2 at my rain gauge in my backyard. The Mesonet site said .19, so about the same. But there were some places that received up to 2 inches of rain, kind of outside of those lines that I drew. So hopefully that's not the case this time around. I will say there is a new and not to stroke my own ego here, but it finally came out. A new severe thunderstorm warning. It includes northern parts of Harmon County and a majority of Greer. So, like I mentioned, that includes Mangum and into Granite. Like I said, maybe scratching at, eastern parts of Jackson County, but they'll probably issue another warning if this little area of purple right here um, were to uh, were to indicate that over the next 15 20 minutes. Once again, another lower end severe thunderstorm warning. Hail up to 1 inch size, quarter size, that is, wind 60 miles per hour, and that portion of the storm moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. So all these storms kind of have a general track of northeast 25 to 30 miles per hour. And I will say, um, the the hail core up here in just around Elk City has really grown up. Um, I'm gonna message my buddy up there and see if he can get me any pictures or anything. Um, so just to kind of give y'all a little lesson on the radar, just in case you didn't know. Um, so the radar site down in Frederick will send beams of energy. Um, they constantly spin, constantly sending out these beams, and whatever gets reflected back, however much energy gets reflected back, will dictate the color that is put on the map. So if there's more of a return of that energy, that means it's smaller. So dirt, dust, a bird, bats, um, uh, um, raindrops, that kind of stuff. That'll be kind of on that lower end, that green, that yellow. Um, Let me see what it still says 1 inch, but but as the colors get richer, I would say you start to get those yellows, those oranges, those reds, and then those purples. That indicates not only heavier precipitation, so bigger raindrops, but then that also tells us where we can look at the hail core. So the the rising air within the cumulonimbus cloud will raise the raindrops, and as they reach a temperature lower than freezing, sorry, um, that's when they will start to freeze, and you'll get hail. Now, hail doesn't just instantly; it's not instantly big. Uh, you'll start to have hail and rain kind of stack on top of it and freeze, and that's how it gets bigger and bigger. And then once gravity wins and the hail falls through the cloud, that's when it comes down to the ground. So as those colors, the purple and then the pinks and potentially whites, that indicates that you could be dealing with some larger hailstones higher and higher in the atmosphere within that cloud, because there's not as much of a return from that radar beam. Um, Let me listen to this real quick. I don't know if he meant to send me this. All right, so um, and I don't know if y'all can see it in my little bitty circle that I have. Um, Come on, stream. Okay, not horrible, but not good by any means. So that's looking out his porch. Um, pretty good hailstorm, occurring up there right now. Like I mentioned, in eastern parts of Beckham County, Elk City included in that, and as that continues to move along and east of Interstate 40, it's going to be coming into the Foss area. And eventually over towards Clinton and maybe north of Weatherford. But we'll have to continue monitoring this line and seeing, what it actually does over the next couple of hours. Um, so, all right. So, okay, and now with this line, pretty much the northern half of the line, they've expanded the severe thunderstorm warning area, and now it's showing golf ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and tagging it with a considerable damage threat. So um, pretty much, let's see, this goes Greer County, Beckham County. It doesn't really hit Kiowa, but I will say the southern half of that line is going to be heading that way. Um, so a pretty good line of lower end severe thunderstorms going to be continuing to push off to the northeast over the next couple of hours. Like I mentioned, hopefully we'll see some rain from this in Jackson County. um, and well, Greer and Kiowa and all those places that I mentioned that are in that drought, that extreme drought area. Um, but Mother Nature, you can keep the rest of it, all the hail, the winds, and I am thankful to report that at this time, there's no tornado warnings, just the tornado watch that we've been included in until 11 p.m. this evening. Um, Let me. Um, okay, so um, kind of like I was mentioning earlier. So this is again looking at the storm that's pretty much leaving Cotton County and heading into Stevens County at this time. So the southern half, um, the southern half of Highway 81, between Duncan and Waurika, Empire City included in that, Comanche included in that, the town of Comanche, not Comanche County. Um, there is uh, a point of interest that I'd like to point out. Start to see this hook shape to this storm, and if we put it in motion with the velocity, it hasn't really shown a whole lot of features that could indicate, something tornadic coming out of it until the last couple of runs. Um, so if we pause it for a second, so the another lesson for the radar, the green and the reds indicate the the winds um, moving towards and away from the radar sight. So when you start to see the winds interact with each other and they kind of look like a yin and yang sign, um, that's when our ears start to perk up, that there potentially could be something some sort of tornadic activity coming from this storm. And I would say that the latest run of the reflectivity, which is um, faster than the velocity run, that hook does look like it is tightening up a little bit. So I'm interested to see what. Well, there it goes. It updated. Um, yeah, I mean it's it's there. It's not very strong by any means, and if there is anything, it's in the early stages. But I wouldn't be surprised if just out of caution, they put out a tornado warning on this one pretty soon. So like I mentioned, a lot of these storms have not really had a lot of the characteristics that you look at uh, when you're looking at something that could indicate a tornado. Um, but that one definitely caught my eye the most. Uh, we'll just head back over to the east or the west real quick. There is a new special weather statement that includes the western half of Jackson County. Um, Wind gust of 50 to 55 miles per hour and penny size hail. So yeah, like right on the verge of being a severe thunderstorm, but strong enough that they warranted that special weather statement. So I will say, if you know anybody in Stevens County, um, primarily um, I'd say the western half, kind of right along Highway 81. Um, you might want to tell them to pay attention, just because this, like I said, this has kind of caught my eye just over the past couple of scans. So that includes Duncan. It includes Empire City. Maybe it just misses Comanche, but it's right in that line. Um, so let me see if I can get any more scans on that one. And this might be another situation where what's kind of behind it isn't really letting it breathe as much, because you can kind of start to see that hook is kind of closing up. Um, so there's still a little bit of rotation there, but it's it's still not indicative to the National Weather Service in Norman to issue a warning at this time. Um, All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna let the radar do its thing while I run and use the restroom. So I'll be back momentarily. Huh? What?
Chris said they had a bunch of fucking hell for it, fucking Elk City. Headed back, they went north to get out of it. I'm going south. I mean, heavy fucking rain and heavy fucking winds. South of Canoe, almost to 152. I'm fixing to hit. Because I got straight line motherfucking winds blasting me from the fucking west.
Um,
I'm fixing to turn to the west. Fixing to do to me. Storm chasers are.
I mean that hell core is that hell.
Actually, I'm turning down the Elk City fucking back road. Coming out of I can't think of something.
Which way is he going?
I should have went fucking 152. I'm fixing to get fucking blasted, probably blown the fuck over.
Is he in a
I'm fixing to
big truck?
this bastard. It's I think so it is.
Then I was like, just tell me what direction.
I'm northwest. I'm about 8 miles, 7 miles south of fucking Canoe. If I can find that fucking far.
I was gonna say the hell core was going right through Elk City and kind of
Hell core is going through Elk City.
right along I-40.
Got a fucking way. Okay. I'm gonna say 6, 7 miles south of fucking. If like that fucker's going.
I was gonna say, if you wanna come here. All right, I'm back, and I don't know if any of y'all heard my father-in-law excuse his potty mouth. Yeah, I mean you said you're south of Canute.
Yeah, I'm south. He's right here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the hell core is kind of right along I-40. So if you if you I mean, honestly,
I'll come out on I-86 is where I'll come out at.
I don't know if it goes down that far. Sorry, guys, momentary break while I help my father-in-law. Oh, here we go. It comes down this far. It doesn't really tell me. Oh my goodness, what is that? What Larry Wade Memorial Highway? What is Larry Wade Memorial Highway? Is that 6 or is that something else?
Ain't very big. Yeah.
So that is 6. Okay. So Yeah, I mean the storm, I mean the line is it's thin. I'd say, not even 5, 10 miles, something like that. So once you get on the other side, um, you'll you'll be clear. Yeah, just kind of have to brace yourself for,
If the Elk City and Highway 6, I'll be all right.
yeah, because I mean the Hellcore is passed by 6. Um,
Okay.
it's just the
Damn,
um,
that one hurt.
yeah, I was gonna say that there might be some hail still, but the main
Right.
bit of the Hellcore is closer to Canute now.
I probably went south just in fucking time. Okay. That's all I needed to know. Okay. See you, Frank.
Well, he's not a storm chaser, but he always seems to be in the thick of it at the worst times. So just had reports of some pretty heavy rain in Elk City, between Elk City and Canute, and some hail as well, not only from my buddy but also from my father-in-law. So, but like I mentioned, as as that storm pushes off to the north and east, um, that area will be clearer than it has been over the past 30 minutes or so. All right, so now, oh, let me look back at that one in Stevens County. Yeah, and that that hook that I momentarily saw just kind of broke right apart, which is a good thing. So, still just looking at a severe thunderstorm warning out there. And now a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes Altus. So as I mentioned, I was hoping that this this line would start to push a little more east northeast instead of northeast, and it looks like it has. But no, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be very close. That severe thunderstorm warning, 1 inch hail, quarter size, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So like I said, on the lower end, um, when it comes to severe thunderstorm warnings, um, out in this part of the country. So still at this time, no tornado warnings to speak of, just a tornado watch. Um, and I'm not sure if y'all, who are watching, looked at my post from the other day, but um, storm systems like these, when we don't necessarily have a huge front, a huge difference in the air masses, they're really tricky. But they should be treated as if they're going to produce something. But there's a good chance that we talk about, hey, this area and this risk and this watch and this warning, but there's a potential that those could fall apart, just with one little small fraction of the overall equation, going out of line. So I don't want y'all to think of these as bust, or hey, the weatherman's wrong again, anything like that. It's just a part of the territory in especially in Oklahoma, when we have springtime set up for storms. Um, where is he looking at? Guthrie. Oh,
He said, "Got things on new tires. Is he gonna dip it was covered in water?"
hmm.
He said, "You working on it?" He said, "If I didn't have stuff in my old tires, it'd send me out to the pasture to eat with the cows."
Oh my gosh. My father-in-law is a comedian, and my wife thinks he's so funny. Um, now, looking back at the radar for this storm that's coming into Jackson County, you'll see on the right hand side that there's a pretty big area of green, and then kind of surrounded by the red colors. So whenever you look at something that kind of stares you in the face and tells you, hey, that might spawn a tornado or anything like that. You want it to be a lot tighter of a circulation. Um, so the rotation is there. It's broad at this moment. So we will have to monitor that as it continues to move on to the north and east. But as of this very moment, some smaller hail, quarter size hail, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust warned with this storm that is just coming through Duke, and going to be heading up towards Martha and into Blair, northern Jackson County. Like I said, Altus is going to be very close, very close. Um, it might scrape us by a chin hair, but I will also mention that there is a ton of lightning. Um, I totally forgot that the lightning strikes aren't on. Oh, I think I clicked on the wrong one. Wait, does this app do the lightning strikes? Like I said, I'm fairly new to using this app on a laptop. Let's see. Radar. Huh, no, it actually doesn't show lightning strikes. My apologies for that. But yeah, tons of electricity within these storms. Um, lots of lightning, not only cloud to ground, but within the clouds in the sky. Um, All right, so just kind of reviewing, going off of what we've got going on right now. We've got one severe thunderstorm warning in Stevens County. That storm is approaching Duncan. Quarter size hail, wind 60 mile per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gust. We've got another one just south of the Red River, impacting parts of Vernon, but it looks like the heaviest part of that storm is going to be just to the south. So going to be heading over Oakland Union, and maybe even further over to the east towards Electra here within the next the next 30 minutes or so. Lime size hail with that one, wind 70 miles per hour, and the damage threat is considerable. It's kind of back growing. Yeah. And then we've got three different.
Like 6.
And what told you that? Apple weather?
Yeah.
Stop listening to Apple weather.
What else would I?
Me. So before I was interrupted, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, kind of in a line. I will say this middle one that included a majority of Greer County will probably it expires in 6 minutes, but they probably won't extend it just because there's been kind of a gap in between the two, as this line starts to kind of break apart. So the northern half of this line, which is had a pretty good size hail core, ping pong ball size hail, 60 mile per hour wind gust, affecting Beckham County, over into Washita County and Custer County, as it continues to push off to the east. So that severe thunderstorm warning will probably be extended further into those counties. And then this southern half of the line that's kind of branched itself off. It kind of looks like it's moving more east now than any part of northeast, which I'd say is a good sign. Yeah.
Has it county road 1130 somewhere in here, and you can't see the road.
No, I'm not surprised. Yeah, that storm, like it was thin, and then the line the line started to break apart, and it just come up with this blob. Yeah. I mean, there's.
Don't worry, I turned it down so not everybody has to hear go with the cows.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Well, I mean, now it looks like once you get to Sayre, then you'll kind of be in the clear. Yeah.
Roughly in here.
I'm just guessing what's on the road. If I get kids over here, I'm not going.
I was like, there ain't no way in heck he's
he's
that
down
close.
Where'd he go? Why?
I mean, if he,
My roads anymore, have they? You said they were in the room?
I'm on county road 15 or 11.
are you anywhere near Carter? How far north?
10 miles.
So how close are you to the highway? 40. You're not going further east, you're going north, right? Or
Well, yeah, no, I'm headed west. I'm headed home. I ain't going east.
well, yeah, but once you get on I-40, you're going to be headed to Sayre, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you said 10 miles.
I can see the road now.
I was going to say
I'm coming out of Mary School, so I'm about a mile off the interstate.
yeah, you're pretty close to I'd say the edge and the back edge of the storm is kind of just to the east of the highway. So once you get there, you should be in the clear.
Now that's going straight down right there. Heavy hit. Non-visible. You guess where the road's at? And it was a rocket me. I like these storms when I got somebody else with me, so they kind of look and watch other shit. I can drive.
It was not long in Texas.
Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, I've got to move it down. Hey, honey, let the dogs in. No, that's not the one. All right, so like I said, that middle part of the storm that was passing through Greer County, Mangum, Granite, that has since kind of broke apart. I would actually say that the northern half of the storm kind of ate up all of its energy and just caused it to kind of bubble out. It was like a very thin line, but now it's a a pretty sizable, maybe you would say uh, a ball, and that has caused the southern half of the storm to kind of push further off to the east. So, like I mentioned, um, it looks like between Duke and Altus right now, dealing with some heavy rain, maybe a little bit of hail coming into the Martha area, and that'll continue in between Altus and Blair over the next 15 minutes. Hopefully, Altus the Altus bubble will be popped. Pop that dirty bubble. But other than this line right here, affecting the far western counties of Oklahoma. The other line to speak of, off to the south, looks to kind of continue on that path. So, and we don't really see a lot of stuff building behind it or to the southwest of it. Looks like, that might be it for us. Yes, baby. What you got?
Hearts.
Oh, you got some hearts?
It came from
Yeah, it came from Sissy's room. My daughter, my youngest daughter, finally decided to join us. But I wish I could go outside and let y'all see. I might be able to. Hold on. Okay, so we're just going to let's go back here. Sorry for the screenception. Let me hide that. And then we're going to maximize. Hello. All right, give me just one moment, and I'll take y'all outside and let y'all get an idea for yourself what this looks like. Oh. I hope the Wi-Fi reaches. Oh, it is raining? Oh, man. Well, it's just kind of spitting right now. Looks pretty. Yeah, just kind of spitting some rain right now, but the it's getting pretty windy. Let me see if I can look out our kitchen window, and I know this might not be the best view by any means, but yeah, you can really see the trees a blowing, and good thing I've got the playground and the trampoline staked down. But you never know in Oklahoma. What? Oh. Just kind of gave y'all a little drive-by tour of my house, and I just dropped my water bottle. Oh, ow. Couldn't get my wife's MacBook very wet, or she'd kill me. What? All right, we'll go back to. Will it show it now? There we go. Oh, thank you, baby. All right, so we'll go back to the radar. And like I assumed, the northern half of that of the line that we previously had, that's really just kind of balled up and turned into a cluster, a multi-county cluster. Um, now has a new severe thunderstorm warning, $half size hail, winds up to 60 miles per hour, and let's see. Oh, why have I got the hiccups? And the one out in Stevens County just passed through Duncan, heading off to the north and east. And the one for Altus, like I said, you know, the majority of that storm passing us just to the north. So I'd say the northern half of town getting some pretty good rain, maybe a little bit of hail, some winds. Meanwhile, the southern half of town, not really seeing a whole lot, unfortunately. So, and as I mentioned, doesn't really look like we have much much growing in behind it. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point over, let's say, what time is it? Almost 6:30. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point over the next maybe hour, if they don't see any additional development, that they might kick us out of the tornado watch, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Um, Delhi. Oh gosh, what am I doing? What? Where is that? Did you figure out where Delhi is?
We passed Delhi, the Delhi turnoff going to the house. Did we not?
Right
Will,
now?
We got a bad day.
Delhi is Sayre. Is right outside of Sayre.
South of Sarah,
It's like right over here. There ain't no way. There's nothing there.
The fire department and the PD posted it.
But when was that? Because if that was because that could have been what I was looking at kind of over by Carter. So if it went Delhi to Carter, I might need to reach out to that one lady that lives there. Um, sorry, my brother-in-law said something about there was a confirmed tornado south of Sayre around Delhi. Um, and I can actually show you. So this is pretty close to where Delhi is. And as you watch the velocity go over Carter, you can kind of see this green ball. But that's what I assume is what it was. Um, but that storm has passed passed by that area, and like I mentioned, turned into a pretty wide cluster. I will say the intensity of the hail core has really downgraded as it's kind of widened out. So that's not completely horrible. But I will say some good rainfall is coming to those areas up in Washita and Custer County right now, and but I'm sure Interstate 40 is a mess. So and it looks like this the southern half of the line is weakening. But they did extend out that severe thunderstorm warning. Still the same hazards: 1-inch size, quarter size hail, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. So that includes the northeastern half of Jackson County over into Kiowa County. So places in between Snyder and up towards Hobart. And then over into Gotebo, Mountain View area before it heads into Caddo County, right around Carnegie, if it does kind of keep its structure. There, but other than that, not really not really a whole lot to speak on. Okay.
Right now, at the moment, the sun's shining in the Sayre. It ain't gonna last long. And down there around Delhi and all that shit, it's up there as a motherfucker.
Oh wow. So there has been a reported rollover along I-40, probably due to potentially that tornado that may have been on the ground around Delhi and over towards Carter, and as it went on up to the northeast. But some pretty significant winds with these storms. A lot of times, we talk about tornadoes and how vicious those winds can be. But if you get a straight line wind, it can be just as damaging. So even if it wasn't a tornado, the winds alone can cause just as much damage, especially with how dry we've been lately. So things are easily getting thrown around, just for that reason alone. So parts of Comanche County finally starting to see some rain. Nothing severe warned at this time. As I mentioned, this line that's been affecting the far western counties of Oklahoma over the past hour or so are starting to, I wouldn't necessarily say fizzle out, but they are weakening. So as they continue on, over the next couple of hours, I don't see them extending the severe thunderstorm warning, maybe for the wind threat, but it looks like the hail threat has diminished significantly. And then that line that's kind of well, there's not really any roads that kind of follow that direction. But if you kind of cut from Chickasha on down into Vernon and the Kroll area, that's where that secondary line of storms is kind of riding off to the northeast. Let me change the radar to the Lubbock radar. And you can see kind of where the tornado the tornado watch stops is kind of right where the storms are developing. There's not much behind it that's continuing to ride along. So like I mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if our far western counties, Jackson County, Harmon County, Greer, Beckham County, are removed from this tornado watch over the next hour or so, just because it doesn't look like the storm movement of that other line doesn't look like it's going to interact with our area. So if anything does kind of catch my attention, I'll make sure to post about it on my Facebook page. I don't think I'll go live again unless it's something confirmed, something like that. But as of this very moment, we're just looking at some severe thunderstorms capable of hail between quarter size, maybe close to lime size, but that hail threat has diminished here recently. 60 plus mile per hour wind gust. I'll actually kind of take a look and see if any of the Mesonet sites have reported anything faster. So the Elk City Mesonet site had a 51 mile per hour wind gust. So not severe, but still pretty strong. And that's probably what turned over that vehicle, that truck on Interstate 40. And maybe some heavy rains at times. There are a couple little flood warnings. Not any flood warnings in Oklahoma, but some of these storms could produce some heavy rainfall. I wouldn't be surprised if that northern half of the line storm produces some sort of flood warning here soon. I can actually take a look at what the radar has estimated. No, come on. Actually, let's look at this one. Sorry. All right, so according to this, about 2 inches right around Canute. Elk City, probably anywhere from like 1.5 to 2 inches. Sayre, probably 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And then as it came across into Harmon County, some of those areas receiving anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain. But since there's not any more rainfall behind it on the way, I wouldn't see a flash flood warning. You can see down here in Kroll, Texas, or just south to Kroll, Texas, these these storms have just been training over this area for quite some time, and they're showing anywhere from 2 to 3 inches plus of rainfall over the past couple of hours. So that's why they issued that flash flood warning down there. So I could see maybe that storm up here, producing some sort of flash flood warning. Maybe as this storm heads over into the Vernon, Electra area, and then across the Red River into Cotton County, and the far eastern part of Tillman County, maybe even into Comanche and Stevens County, where they could see some additional rainfall totals that warrant a flash flood warning. But at this time, I would say that, I would say that the western counties that are included in this tornado watch, that includes Beckham County, that includes Greer County, that includes Harmon, Jackson County. We will more than likely be kicked out of the tornado watch very shortly, within the next hour or so, which is good news. Well, I appreciate all of y'all for staying on this thing with me for 2.5 hours. It didn't pan out as forecasted, but that's a good thing. So we will take this small W and move on. Like I mentioned, tomorrow, it looks like most of that activity will probably be off in eastern Oklahoma. But then we will have to watch for Friday as a cold front comes into the area. Like I mentioned, the difference between the air masses is more our stereotypical setup, and that might give us a better shot of some severe weather without all these strings attached. So as I mentioned, thanks once again to my new sponsor, Ledbetter Roofing. If you have any damage from these storms or any other storms, or you have a leak that you can't find in your house, or you just want to have them take a look, call them for a free quote. That telephone number is 580-530-2467. Thanks again to the guys at Ledbetter Roofing, and hope y'all enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to y'all later this week.